Thank you. Hello again. Hi, thank you. Thank you. share it. I've got a card.
I don't have the card here because I don't have my card. Do you have my number? I can write it. My name and everything. Yeah, let's hop over. Dave, we're gonna go.
Demonstrating together today reminds us that the free people of the world have stood with Palestine for as long as the Palestinian people have resisted the forces that have no longer. And that we will stand with Palestine until there are every single Palestinian in Israel.
Looking at it, sorry,
We are only the latest generation. All of us standing here together today on the generation that will finally see a liberated Palestine.
Excuse me, sorry. Thank you.
We, the largest mass protest movement in British history, have achieved remarkable victories. Council after council across the country has divested from the genocidal state of Israel. Co-op has become the first supermarket chain in British history to refuse to stock Israeli goods. And the imports of Israeli goods to the UK have been reduced by almost 20%. On every front, in workplaces, in universities and in cultural life, Israel stands more isolated and more alone than it ever has before. And now, Israel enters what should be described as the second phase of its genocide. It is turning back to the violence that has been at the core of fascist settlers, the state's paramilitary arm, brutally forced communities off their land in the West Bank.
Excuse me.
The majority of
Thank you.
Gaza remains under occupation, and its heroic people continue to face daily bombings and enforced starvation. Israel's goal remains the same as it was before this so-called ceasefire. Israel's goal remains the same as it has been since 1948. The elimination of the Palestinian people and the theft of their land. They think that their slower genocide and their sham ceasefire will deceive us into relaxing the pressure and shifting the conversation away from apartheid and genocide. It's up to us to prove them wrong. This deeply complicit Labour government wants to re-normalise Israel and distract the British people from their horrendous crimes. It's up to us to keep Palestine in the very centre of public life. They want to divide this movement with brutal repression and smears. It's up to us to stay united and steadfast. That you build all complicity in Israel's ongoing genocide. And now is the time to show that our unity is unbreakable. We will not be deceived by Israel's lies or broken by Starmer's repression. Because when we struggle together as one unified mass movement, there is no force on earth that can stop us. Hand in hand with the heroic Palestinian people, we will defeat Israel's genocide. We will hold every war criminal accountable, and we will become the generation to see an end to the Nakba. And that will only be the beginning. We will keep marching all the way to justice, all the way to return, all the way to liberation, and all the way to a better, more just world. Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! We're going to kick off today's demonstration with a really important video from Mustafa Barghouti, which should hopefully appear on the screens to either side of me. Thank you.
Dear friends, comrades and colleagues, I want to thank you on behalf of the Palestinian people for your unwavering solidarity. And I want to assure you that we need this solidarity today more than any time before. Because the Israeli genocidal war on Gaza did not stop. It is continuing. Every day the Israeli army is bombarding new places in Gaza. Every day they are killing more people, including children. Every day they continue the destruction on the ground of cities, towns, which were erased to the ground completely, like in Rafah or Beit Lahia and Beit Hanun. We need your solidarity to stop this terrible atrocity that includes collective punishment against the population of Gaza, depriving them of basic humanitarian needs and depriving them of medications and medical material that they need to treat the injured and the sick people. We need your solidarity because Israel never gave up the idea of ethnic cleansing of the population of Gaza. They continue their genocidal war, they continue their collective punishment, and they continue their plans of ethnic cleansing. But we are also subjected to terrible atrocities in the West Bank as well, where we are subjected to continuous and constant attacks from Israeli settler terrorist groups that are attacking communities, burning houses, destroying properties, burning cars, and shooting people with the help and support and protection of the Israeli army, which also continues to invade cities and villages, arresting people. Palestinian prisoners are subjected to terrible treatment. They're tortured. They are deprived from food, starving, and treated terribly in different prisons. We need your solidarity more than any time before to stop this terrible genocide against the Palestinian people, to help us achieve our freedom. And let me assure you that nothing, no oppression in this world will stop our struggle or our demand or determination to be free from occupation, from apartheid, from all forms of oppression. We are sure we can overcome with our steadfastness and struggle and with your great solidarity. We will overcome and Palestinians will achieve their freedom. Palestine will be free and we will overcome with your help and support. Dear friends,
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Our first speaker is here representing the Palestinian Forum in Britain, one of the co-organisers of today's demo. Please give a very warm welcome to Faris Amir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This government thinks because they announced their so-called fake peace that we'll stop marching. This government thinks that when they clamp down on our rights to freedom of expression, that we'll stop marching. This government thinks that when they introduce laws to shut down protests on a whim, that we'll stop marching. But here we are, thousands upon thousands strong! Because we know that even though the cameras have turned away, the genocide has not ended. The Israelis have been massacring and murdering on a daily basis without stopping, not only in Gaza, but also in Lebanon, where there's also a ceasefire agreement, and also in Syria, where they have no business being, like they have no business being anywhere in the West Bank or the Gaza Strip. The truth is that the Israelis will not stop unless we stop them. And now, since the cameras have turned away, we need to be more creative. The hard work begins now. We all need to ask ourselves, what role can we play today? And this brings to mind a brave British activist, Ruth Herbert, who walked 6.5 months and raised over £50,000 for Gaza. Now, I'm not saying to walk the distance as she walked, but everyone has a role to play. So when you go home today, ask yourselves, what is my role? What can I do to keep the struggle going, to make sure that the world keeps hearing about Gaza? But whilst we all figure out what we need to do independently, we know for a fact that we will not stop marching. And this isn't going to stop with the end of the genocide in Gaza. This isn't going to stop with the end of the occupation in Gaza and the West Bank and the end of the incursion to Syria and into Lebanon. In fact, this will not stop with the liberation of Palestine, because what we are struggling for is more than Palestine. We are struggling for global justice. So when we march, we are marching for Gaza, we are marching for Lebanon, we are marching for Syria, we are marching for Sudan, we are marching for Congo, we are marching for every human being facing injustice all over the world. And there is nothing that the Israelis or Keir Starmer or Donald Trump can do to stop this movement. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Thank you.
Our next speaker is one of the most outspoken MPs on Israel's genocide in Gaza. She's the Member of Parliament for Poplar and Limehouse. Please give a warm welcome to Afsana Begum, MP.
Flooded tents, a lack of food, electricity and water, and starving men, women and children. This is a daily reality for those among the rubble in Gaza. The world must not be fooled. The state of Israel's genocide is not over. The Israeli government's ongoing ban of UNRWA shows more than a blatant and cruel disregard for human life. It shows actual intent on the destruction of Palestinian life, because they know that without access to the necessities that only UNRWA can provide, such as food and medicine, thousands of innocent Palestinians are continuing to face malnourishment, disease and death. Just as they know what happens when they target schools, hospitals and other civilian infrastructure. The starvation, the torture, the killing, the violence against women and girls, the forced displacement, the extermination and the collective punishment. We will not stop reminding everyone that these follow the actions of the UK being in close and staunch allyship with Israel and what they continue to downplay and deny. This is the situation in which the UK government continues to allow arms to be sent to kill civilians. Shame! Shame! This is why we keep coming together to say not in our name. Because the deliberate targeting of civilians must stop. Because the best way we know to save lives is to not destroy them. And because the best way to ensure that aid is actually delivered in Gaza is a ceasefire that includes the stopping of all activities that are blocking the aid. And the best way to secure a lasting ceasefire is to stop the supply of UK-made weapons. The only way the humanitarian nightmare in Gaza will be ended is by not providing the political, diplomatic and practical support for despicable acts of humanity that created this situation in the first place. So as 2025 begins to draw to a close, we will not be drawn by the dangerous illusion that life in Gaza is returning to normal. Instead, in 2026 and beyond, we will continue to speak up against the US and UK's foreign interests being pursued with an utter disregard for Palestinian life. No matter the spin or doublespeak, the censorship or the repression, the chilling complicity of these powers will never be forgotten. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching until there is an end to the siege of Gaza and the illegal occupation of the West Bank. Until the rights of the Palestinian people are realized and until there is a free and independent Palestine. Free! 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 Solidarity! Free! 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 Our next speakers are here representing the Filton 24, who are currently being held in prison for over a year without trial for taking part in non-violent direct action against Israeli weapons manufacturer Elbit Systems. So please give a very warm welcome to the mother of political prisoner Zoe Rogers, Claire Hinchcliffe, and the sister of political prisoner Kamran Ahmed, Shamila Alam.
In August 2024, my daughter Zoe, then aged 20, was one of 6 activists who got inside an Israeli weapons factory in Filton, Bristol. There they discovered a load of killer quadcopter drones of the kind used to kill and maim civilians in Gaza, packed up, ready for export. And they were able to decommission some of them with sledgehammers. The response to the action by this government has been brutal. It was almost certainly the trigger to proscribe Palestine action. Counter-terror powers were used, dawn raids on family homes by up to 30 officers at a time, violent arrests, family members handcuffed in their beds. And now the Filton 24, all charged in connection with the same action, have been refused bail and are imprisoned for up to 2 years, awaiting trials. My daughter and the first 6 to be arrested finally started their trial this month after 15 months in prison. The legal limit for pre-trial custody is 6 months. So now we know what Starmer's government's priority is: protecting the partnership with the State of Israel and defending its main weapons manufacturer, Elbit Systems. The resources it has put into policing and prosecuting the Filton 24 are phenomenal. No expense has been spared. The UK's dangerously broad legal definition of terrorism, which can be mere property damage with a political cause, has been fully exploited. If only all that resource and expense had been put into investigating the crimes of Elbit Systems, who, by the way, test their weapons on Palestinians. If only it had been put into kicking Elbit out of the UK, instead of inviting it to bid for multi-billion pound government contracts, which is what they're doing right now. If only that resource had been put into cutting off all ties with Israel, diplomatic and military, and put pressure on them to stop their crimes against humanity. This government should shut Elbit down and stop arming Israel. It shouldn't be up to our children to do that for them. Free the Filton 24! Free the Filton 24! Free the Filton 24! Free the Filton 24! Free, free! Free, free! Some of you may know, my brother Cameron, one of the Filton 24, was hospitalized and denied communication for his commitment to the liberation of Palestine. There are 32 prisoners in the UK for alleged actions to stop the arming of the ongoing genocide against the Palestinians. 6 of these prisoners have been on an open-ended, staggered hunger strike, which began on the 2nd of November, also the anniversary of Balfour Declaration Day, the day Britain tangibly solidified its role in the start of the ethnic cleansing of the Palestine state. Now we're going to try and say their names nice and loud and clear. Say it clear and say it loud. Kessa, you make us proud. Kessa, you make us proud. Kessa is on day 28. Say it clear, say it loud. Amu, you make us proud. Clear, say it loud. Amu. however, on day 27 of their hunger strike. Say it clear, say it loud, John, you make us proud. John is on day 24 of his hunger strike. Say it clear and say it loud. T, you make us proud. T is on day 21 of her hunger strike. Say it clear and say it loud. Cameron, you make us proud. Cameron is on day 20 of his hunger strike. Say it clear and say it loud. Louis, you make us proud. Louis is a diabetic and he's on partial hunger strike. Their demands are clear. Shut Elbit down. Shut Elbit down. Shut Elbit down. Deprescribe Palestine action. Deprescribe Palestine action. A right to a fair trial. A right to a fair trial. A right to a fair trial. Immediate bail now, now. Immediate bail now, now. End the censorship now, now. End the censorship now, now. I want you to remember their names and I want you to remember their demands because I need you to spread them far. Two of the hunger strikers, my brother Cameron and T, have been hospitalized. How long will we leave it before we act? Shabana Mahmood and our government led by human rights lawyer, yes, that's you, Keir Starmer. You must act now and engage in meaningful conversation to prevent further deterioration of the hunger strikers. Until the demands are met, we must mobilize outside government buildings and amplify the voices of our hunger strikers. This is our moral duty and our responsibility. Their health is in our hand. I want you to be nice and clear for this one. We support our hunger strikers. 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 Thank you. Continue to mobilize.
Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! Now, it is my great honour to tell you that the back of the march is still coming in and has not quite reached Whitehall. We haven't got a full numbers estimate yet, but it is looking absolutely huge, especially considering the weather. Now, our next speaker is here representing Stop the War. He's also facing charges, along with Ben Jamal, for organising the protest on January the 18th of this year. Please give a warm welcome to one of the co-organisers of today's rally, Chris Nynham.
Thank you very much. Great to see you all here today. We are here to say what everyone knows. Their ceasefire is a lie. Their peace process is a lie. There is next to no reconstruction. What we are witnessing is a neo-colonial project to continue the subjugation of the Palestinian people. And one of the things that has been exposed over the last 2 years past, this wouldn't have happened without you, and I salute you for all you have done over the last 2 years. But I also say this, we have to keep on fighting. We have to fight until Palestine is free, but we also have to fight until we have peace and justice in this country too. The two things are connected. Thank you very much.
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Our next speaker is the General Secretary of the TSSA Union, representing over 18,000 transport workers. Please give a very warm welcome to Mariam Islam-Doust.
Thank you. Once again, I send ongoing solidarity to the Palestinian people from Britain and Ireland's transport workers. As we gather here again today, one thing is abundantly clear. They want us to forget. With their fake ceasefire being breached daily by fire raining down on Palestinian heads, they want us to forget. With their genocide still ongoing, they want us to forget. With half of Palestine still sleeping in tents, they want us to forget. With the Israeli military still controlling half of Gaza and all of the West Bank, they want us to forget. With the real estate deals lined up, they want us to forget. With the halls and courtrooms of The Hague still yearning to condemn their leaders, they want us to forget. By banning our protests, they want us to forget. But we will not forget. We will not forget the children robbed of their lives and futures. We will not forget the genocide. We will not forget our own politicians supporting such depravity. We will not forget the stolen land. We will not forget the arrest warrants. We will not forget the trials which must come to The Hague. We will not forget the Palestinian nation denied its right to live and be free. Sisters and brothers, we will not forget. For as long as it takes, we will not forget. Free Palestine. Free, free! Free, free! In our thousands, in our millions! In our thousands, in our millions! In our thousands, in our millions! We finally got our first numbers estimate for today's demonstration. And I am absolutely thrilled to tell you that there are 100,000 people here in the centre of London today. Here to say no to ethnic cleansing. Here to say no to apartheid, to genocide, to heinous war crimes. And here to say we will always, always stand with the Palestinian people. Our next speaker is a lifelong advocate for the Palestinian people, inside and outside Parliament. She's the MP for Clapham and Brixton Hill. Please give the warmest welcome to Bel Ribeiro-Addy, MP.
Thank you. Now we're here because we know that even as political leaders congratulate themselves on this so-called ceasefire, the genocide in Gaza continues in real time. The airstrikes haven't stopped. The siege has not been lifted. And civilians remain under systemic assault in Gaza and in the West Bank. And every single day, Israel's military operations continue with devastating human consequences. Despite all this, people keep trying to reframe the narrative as though stability has somehow returned. Even though the guise of a ceasefire appears to have worked on the media, who are shifting their focus, the violence hasn't paused for breath, the humanitarian catastrophe is still unfolding, and people are still being killed, starved, and displaced. The only thing that has changed is the level of international attention, and it's exactly that drop in scrutiny that allows injustices to escalate under the radar. A ceasefire in name only is not a ceasefire. It's a political risk management exercise. It's designed to placate foreign partners and deflect domestic accountability. What's happening on the ground is completely incompatible with the language being used in press and parliamentary briefings. And the UK's role hasn't changed either, because we cannot credibly call for peace abroad while enabling violence through policy at home. Britain continues to license arms exports to Israel. Britain continues to authorise defence collaborations. Britain continues to provide training and military support that enhance the operational capabilities of a state that is currently facing credible accusations of genocide under international law. This is not abstract. UK manufactured components are being used. UK funded training is being deployed. UK government decisions are helping to sustain the very machinery of destruction we claim that we condemn. So how can we talk about de-escalation while maintaining defence supply chains? We have to be clear that if our government wanted to influence the situation more meaningfully, it has many levers it could use. It could use economic levers, diplomatic, regulatory. There are all these different things we could use. Instead, we simply refuse. Instead, we get ambiguity, circular talking points, and refusal to suspend arms licenses, even though the international courts are raising the alarm. And that is not strategic restraint, that is operational complicity. And it's for that reason that we are still here, and I'm so pleased to see so many people still showing up. We need to reset the accountability framework, and we need to say clearly that the UK cannot position itself as a champion of human rights while underwriting the apparatus of occupation. Solidarity with the Palestinian people has to be backed by actions, ending the arms sales, halting military cooperation, demanding unrestricted humanitarian access, and supporting legally enforceable pathways to justice, and demanding a real ceasefire. We also have to make people understand that calling it genocide is not rhetoric. It is a legal, evidence-driven assessment shared by global experts. And when governments avoid the term, it's clear that this is not because, you know, the facts on the ground are unclear. It's clear that this is because the implications of it are inconvenient. Now, we need to make sure that we do not let this issue be deprioritised just because the headlines want to move on. And we need to make sure that the UK's role in this is not sanitised. We can't stand by while political actors treat Palestinian lives as if they are expendable. The genocide has to end. Gaza must be free. Palestine must be free. And the UK must stop enabling violence. And I want to encourage you all that even though where we've got to may not seem like enough, public pressure has brought us this far. And maintaining this public pressure globally and solidarity with the Palestinian people is what will bring this to an end. Thank you very much.
From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! Our next speaker is here representing the Muslim Association of Britain, one of the co-organisers of today's rally. Please give a very warm welcome to Ragad Al-Takriti.
Dear brothers and sisters, dear friends, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. So what does genocide look like? It is cold and dark. It looks like mass graves filled with doctors, teachers, children, because the cemeteries are full and the bombing will not wait. It looks like absence. Whole families erased in a single strike. Homes turned to rubble, futures erased before they began. It looks like a loss so vast and relentless that medical workers had to invent a new acronym, WCNSF, wounded child, no surviving family. A clinical label for a child whose entire world has been erased. A life that will be lived with no one left to say their name. It looks like a population reduced, not by accident, not by natural forces, but by deliberate choice. A choice made again and again, even as the world watches, even as the cameras roll past, even as words are exchanged in parliaments without action. Genocide looks like life itself being measured in ruins, in numbers, in statistics that hide the humanity of each soul lost. What does genocide sound like? It is relentless. It is unending. It sounds like the constant buzzing of drones, one airstrike after another. It sounds like a child screaming under rubble while the world debates whether ceasefire is an acceptable word to use. It sounds like confession after confession, voices declaring with pride that they will starve, erase, and slaughter. It sounds like the 355 bullets fired at Hind Rajab. It sounds like bombs dropped on every hospital, every university, every school in Gaza, every pillar of civilization. Genocide sounds like everything that should shatter the conscience of humanity, and yet it is still met with indifference. What does complicity look like? It looks like Keir Starmer saying Israel has the right to cut off water. It looks like the 516 MPs voting against or abstaining from a ceasefire because in their calculation, not enough Palestinians have been killed yet. It looks like Palestinians killed for fetching water, killed in tents, killed sheltering in hospitals, killed queuing for aid, killed in their homes, while the government calls us un-British for demanding an end to the genocide. It looks like the government's conducting business as usual, sending F-35s, bullets and weapons to Israel, while arresting 2,000 protesters under terrorism charges for calling for justice. Complicity looks like silence dressed as legality, inaction dressed as diplomacy, while genocide continues in plain sight. What does tomorrow look like? Tomorrow looks like resistance, courage, and hope. It looks like the world we are willing to make. Tomorrow is when every perpetrator and war criminal is held to account. Because the people of Gaza, who survived under rubble and fire, enduring hunger, loss, and terror every single day, continue to live, to resist, and to hope. Their courage is the heartbeat of tomorrow. We will not be silenced by police restrictions, by arrest, or by government crackdowns. We are a movement that has marched week after week, month after month, and we will not stop. Justice is non-negotiable. Liberation will become a reality, and the sky over Gaza will shine with sun, not with bombs. Our future is free from every system that perpetrates genocide, free from fear, free from oppression, and free from those who value power over life. Tomorrow will only look like this if we do everything to end the machinery of death and genocide. We must declare with every word, every action, every Dear friends, tomorrow will be a free, liberated Palestine from the river to the sea.
Our next speaker is here representing Friends of Al-Aqsa, one of the co-organisers of today's rally. Please give a warm welcome to Ismail Patel.
Assalamu alaikum. The Gaza Truce sign on 9th of October is not worth the paper it has been written on. Israel has repeatedly violated the ceasefire more than 500 times in 7 weeks, killing over 300 people. Gaza continues to burn and bleed, and the genocide is now continuing. My friends, Gaza needs our help more today than ever before. And now, at the very moment when the cameras have turned away, a new plan by Trump is being pushed that calls itself to stabilize Gaza. Don't be fooled by the language. This plan is not freedom, but a plan for foreign occupation, an imperial imposition by Trump supporting Israeli colonization. This board of peace, backed by foreign soldiers, is to run Gaza's borders and its construction, is in reality the dark forces of imperial power. This does not offer peace to Palestinians. Rather, it carves another piece of Palestine away for Israel. The imperialist Trump plan is a trap that is designed to wipe away the rights of the Palestinian people's self-determination. This Trump plan ignores Palestinian rights and betrays their struggle. Hear me loud, my friends. Palestinians, just like us, have rights. The right to travel, the right to learn, the right to health care, the right to live in dignity, the right to decide their own future. No paper, no plan, no power can erase those rights, and no one in the world can stop them. Palestine will be free. We stand with Gaza. We stand with Palestine. We will not be silent. We will not give in for fear or fatigue. I urge you to continue being the thorn in the way of Zionist, racist, colonialist project. We have a role to play, and together we are powerful, making a difference. We demand an immediate and permanent end to genocide now. We demand an end to siege and let the aid in. We demand an accountability for war and justice, and not impunity for war criminals like Netanyahu. We demand no foreign occupation by any name, and Palestinians' right to self-determination. We demand the cut to weapons, cut the money to Israel, and impose sanctions now. We are the conscience of this city. We are the conscience of this country and the world. We will not be silent while Gaza's children are buried, are burned alive. We will not be fought over by platitudes. We will continue to fight. We have great people who are making sure this is taking place. The Flinton who are in prison now, those who are working to end the siege of Gaza. Each and every one of us are playing our part. Let's get together and end the siege of Gaza now. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Thank you very much.
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Our next speaker is the leader of the opposition in Ireland and the leader of Sinn Féin, a party that knows all too well the brutal realities of settler colonialism and occupation. Please give a very warm welcome to Mary Lou MacDonald TD.
Thank you. I bring greetings from Ireland and from Sinn Féin to everybody gathered here. We come here to raise our voices in protest. We will never stop protesting a genocide and an occupation. And no one who protests should be criminalised. No one who hungers and thirsts for justice should be jailed. And we send our solidarity to them all now, to those on hunger strike, to those who work and live for justice. There is now, we are told, a ceasefire in Gaza. And yet, the Israeli attacks have not ended. Civilians are being killed. Homes are still being struck. Families who have already lost everything continue to live under fire. So, let no one here be misled by any diplomatic equivocation. A ceasefire that does not protect civilians is not peace. A ceasefire that does not stop the killing is not a solution. Ireland and the world stands with Gaza. Ireland and the world stands with Palestine. And the world has watched as Gaza has seen and been subjected to genocide. This is not without cause nor without responsibility. It follows from an illegal occupation, collective punishment, and the systematic denial of Palestinian humanity and Palestinian nationhood. Devastation enabled by Western governments who arm, fund, and politically shield Israel, and that includes the British government. Let me be clear, this is not a charge against the people of Britain, millions of whom have marched, organised, spoken out, and stood on the right side of history for Palestine, but it is a charge against those in power. Today, the ceasefire places a test before the international community. Will this simply be a pause before the next assault? Or can it be a turning point in the world where we finally choose law over impunity and justice over power? Because the suffering didn't begin on the 7th of October 2023, and it will not end with a ceasefire alone. Every day in the West Bank, Palestinians face military raids, land theft, settler violence, and detention without charge. No people on earth would accept this for themselves. And Ireland understands the reality of occupation and the reality of resistance too. We understand that real peace is never built on submission. It is built on equality, on rights, and on recognition. Our own peace process teaches and shows that no conflict is beyond resolution. So peace in Palestine must mean the end of occupation, must mean the end of apartheid, and the full realization of a sovereign Palestinian state. The ceasefire creates immediate obligations, and let me spell them out. First, humanitarian aid entering Gaza at full scale. Secondly, every displaced family with the right to return. Thirdly, accountability for war crimes. Fourthly, all hostages, all detainees must be released. And finally, there must be a genuine, internationally backed peace process that leads to full Palestinian self-determination, not the endless management of injustice. To the people of Palestine listening today, I say, we recognize your struggle as a legitimate national struggle for freedom and statehood. We heard your voices as the bombs were falling. We hear you now as you search in the ruins for your children, for your neighbours, for your future. And we will continue to amplify your demand, not for charity, but for freedom. So let this ceasefire be a moment when the world finally confronts reality. Let it be an irreversible step towards liberation and justice for Palestine. And from London we say, stop the occupation and the land theft, the collective punishment, the injustice. Start enforcing international law. Start building real peace. And to the people of Palestine, I say with all my heart, you are not alone. We are with you. Ireland is with you. The world is with you. Ganairi live, Galer is Kachuki war law. Garamila Maibin.
In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. And across the world, in our millions, in our billions. Our next speaker is a member of the French National Assembly, representing the Independent Workers' Party. Please give a very warm welcome to Jérôme Le Gave.
My colleague Nadège Abomangoli, Vice President of the French Parliament, and I are MPs of La France Insoumise. It is a great honor for us to participate in this demonstration and to speak here. For over 2 years, the powerful demonstrations in London have been a tremendous source of encouragement in our country. Right now, thousands are demonstrating in Paris and throughout France, as well as in London and in many other countries. We are mobilized to express our total and unconditional support for the Palestinian people against our governments, which are complicit in the genocide. We are mobilized because since the so-called ceasefire, massacres, destructions, and starvation continue every day. Every day in the West Bank, villages are attacked by settlers and the Israeli army. Since the so-called ceasefire, 345 Palestinians have been murdered. And Israel resumed its bombing of Lebanon. The so-called peace plan of Donald Trump, approved by the United Nations, has nothing to do with a peace plan. It is an occupation plan. It is a plan that enshrines the denial of the Palestinian people's right to sovereignty and freedom in their land. Shame on the European governments. Shame on the British and on the French government. Shame on them who have never stopped supplying arms to Israel, who continue to do so, and who now support Trump and Netanyahu's occupation plan. In our country, the government is considering sending French troops to participate in the occupation decided by Trump and the United Nations. Who can believe that Trump wants peace, that Starmer, Merz, or that Macron want peace when they pursue warmongering policies and social war on their own people and abroad? They are Netanyahu's accomplices. They are the ones who, in their own countries, while they are massively rejected, want to impose austerity on military budget expansion. Yes, total support for the Palestinian people in Gaza and in the West Bank, against our government's complicity in genocide, against all the oppressors. Ceasefire now. End the blockade. Stop harming Israel.
In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our millions. In our thousands, in our MEP.
Dear friends, dear comrades, it's a pleasure to be here today and to see you out in such numbers. And it is today more important, arguably, than it has ever been. Because as they have tried to hide their crimes, today they try to make us forget their crimes. And you are sending a message today that we will not stand for that. We will not allow them to get away with what they have done and what they are still doing. Because while they speak about a ceasefire, not only see we daily killings in Gaza, not only do we see over half of Gaza now under Israeli control, not only do we see a plan for colonial administration of Gaza, but we also see Palestinians being executed with their hands above their heads. People giving in. Shame on them being executed. These crimes will not stand. These crimes will not pass. We see bombs falling on Syria, bombs falling on Lebanon, and they will not stop unless we stop them. Because let us be very clear today, in Europe, there are two Europes. There is the Europe of the establishment, the Europe of the governments that have covered this genocide, that have funded this genocide, that have supported this genocide, and that are continuing to do so. And then there's the other Europe. There's the Europe that we incarnate here today. That is the Europe of liberation, the Europe that says no to occupation. This is our Europe. And therefore, thank you so much, because we are changing it, and we will not stop. We will continue to march for justice, for peace, and for a free Palestine. Free, free Palestine!
Free, free! Free, free! Okay, we're especially excited for our next speaker because he tells us that he's got a surprise. I've got no idea what it is. Please give a very warm welcome to Khaled Abdullah, actor and activist.
Today is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. And it is my great honor to bring you the world premiere of an act of solidarity you will hear in a moment. A beautiful reimagining of the Palestinian song, Yamma Mweel al-Hawa. A song of love, a song of resistance, a song of defiant hope that we are taking into the race. Are you ready to make some noise? To make Christmas #1 this year. We've got some stiff competition, but we've also got our own British and Palestinian stars who have come together to make this happen. People like Brian Eno, Ney Berghouti, Nina Cherry and her daughters Mabel and Tyson, Nadine Shah, Lana Lubeni, Celeste, Leanne, Peter Gabriel, the London Community Gospel Choir, and many others. It also includes words from the great Palestinian poet, Mahmoud Darwish. Some of you may know that I was part of organising Together for Palestine at Wembley Arena. And what you're about to hear is our next offering from the heart. It comes to make it to Christmas #1. We need 100,000 people to download this track. That's what it takes. A fraction of the number of people who have been on our love marches, so I think we can aim even higher, and I reckon George Michael is looking down on us, willing us on. It will cost under £2, and every penny raised will go to Palestinian-led organisations doing vital work on the ground in Gaza. It comes out on December the 12th, but we need you to go online and pre-order it now. Go to togetherforpalestine.org, follow the links and buy it. Don't stream it, buy it. That's how we make this cultural impact at a moment when they are trying to make our movement invisible. But we are not going to let that happen. We are not going anywhere. If you're looking for something to do that is meaningful, this is one of them. Because that's how we make this cultural impact, because we're not going to let them and we're not going anywhere. If you're looking for, this is one of them, and it's in the deepest spirit of Christmas and solidarity with Palestinians. We need to make sure the world remembers Gaza this Christmas. The families who will be in tents, not even in a stable with a manger. A Palestine, an occupied Bethlehem that is in Palestine. A Palestine calling to be free, just like this song, this beautiful lullaby, where we remember Bethlehem as it is. Now we can play the song. Thank you. So let's remember that occupied Bethlehem is in Palestine, and let us keep walking towards that horizon of a free. Thank you.
Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Our next speaker is here from Palestinian families, representing the families of those facing the brutal reality of Israel's genocide every day. Please give a very warm welcome to Hala Hanina.
Hello everyone, I'm Hala, Palestinian from Gaza. Usually when I speak on the stages, I share stories of people who Israel have killed. I share stories of beloved people on my heart that Israel have massacred. But today, I would love to share a story of someone alive. Because those who are not yet killed are also worthy of being remembered and known. Today's story is about Sarah. Sarah is a beautiful, powerful Palestinian woman from Gaza. She's 24 years old. She's an architect. She was orphaned. Her father died before the genocide, and she was the breadwinner of her family. She used to bring money to look after her mom, 3 sisters, and a brother. And she was the only one doing that. She worked even while she was studying, an architect and empowering students and creating initiatives and entrepreneuring. And in the genocide, she also worked for organizations. She's a brilliant English speaker, so she also worked in translation. On the 25th of December 2023, so almost 2 years ago, Israel bombed her home. Her mom, 3 sisters, and brother, the whole family, were killed. Sarah was brought from underneath the rubble. She lost her hand and her leg. Her friend Amir and her colleague shared her story with me. When I asked the community of Gaza, what do you want people in the UK to know? And he told me, Hala, when I saw her, I wanted to ask her, how do you eat? Your family are killed and your hand and your leg, you've lost them. How do you walk? How do you manage to do anything? But he couldn't even ask. Do you think for Sarah, the genocide is over? Do you think for the largest population of amputees now in Gaza, the genocide is over? No, it's not over. That's right. Not just for them. It's not over because we're still at the first stage of the ceasefire over Gaza. First stage where Israel have breached the ceasefire conditions since the first day. They have killed around 400 people in Gaza since the announcement of the ceasefire. They've killed on average 2 children since the beginning of the ceasefire in Gaza. Gaza, that they promised that they will get around more than 6,000 aid trucks into Gaza as a condition with the ceasefire. They only let less than 1,000. For 2 million people still living in the tent, most of them. Gaza is still having around 200,000 people injured. Gaza is suffering. And on the other side, we have the US calling what they are doing peace. Calling the area in Gaza, you know, Israel and the US have divided Gaza now to 2 areas, East Gaza and West Gaza. They are calling East Gaza green, as if those ground invaded and controlled by Israel would ever be green. And they're calling the one with us Palestinians under bombardment of Israel red zone. The US and Israel is not anymore complicit. The US is now a direct responsible of the genocide and occupation. Gaza now is under double occupation. And it's not just Trump a problem. It's not just Netanyahu a problem. Netanyahu is a problem, but he's not the problem. The system itself is the problem. What we need from you all is what we asked for through the last 2 years and even before. To have an end of the Israeli occupation, to dismantle the Israeli settler colonial state, to end this Western imperialism and control of our countries, of our future, of our present. We need you all. I tell you, this first stage of ceasefire happened because of your action, because of your refusal to give up. And we can only reach the second stage, end of genocide and end of occupation and settler colonialism with your action. So keep it up. Free, free. Free, free. From the river to the sea. Thank you.
Our next speaker is an Olivier Award-winning Irish actor who has used her platform to relentlessly advocate for the rights of the Palestinian people. Please give the warmest welcome to Denise Goff.
Thank you so much. I would like to use my time today to amplify the words of my friend Dr. Ezzedine Shihab from Gaza. I asked Ezzedine what he would like me to read. He has devoted his life to taking care of his community in Gaza, and over the course of the genocide has also unbelievably managed to publish a book with the help of readers and writers against genocide. He told me that it gives him great energy to know that his words are being heard by so many. These are the words he asked me to read today. It feels as if the hand that shaped the heavens has turned its face away from this land, leaving its people to breathe sorrow the way exiles breathe the cold of outer darkness. Gaza is no longer a city. It is a place cast out of creation, a forgotten limb of the world, a valley where even fallen angels would tremble to descend. Today was meant to be my single day of rest, the one day in the week when my spirit could loosen its chains and drift into silence. But Gaza does not grant rest to any soul. Gaza is the place where rest goes to die. Gaza gives nothing. It only receives the weight of human suffering. I woke early, not by my own will, but to thunder. Live instead of ceilings. And truthfully, calling them tents is already a mercy. These are not dwellings. They are scraps of defeated fabric trembling in the wind, veils meant more to hide human humiliation than to shield from the rain. They stand as frail testaments to those forced to sleep within them, as if stitched by angels who had lost their wings. I looked out of the window. Children ran barefoot through the storm, wearing thin summer clothes in winter rain, not with the wild beauty poets imagine, but with the quiet tragedy of a people trapped in their 4th season of exile. Their tents sagged under the downpour, the earth beneath them dissolving into mud, and because the homes that once held them are now dust, the sky itself has become their roof, a roof that bleeds cold, punishes bone, and spares no heart beneath it. This city has become the throne of eternal grief. Here, God seems to gather those he has marked with sorrow upon their foreheads. This is not a city. It is a mausoleum of memory, a curse carved into the earth, a wound so deep it demands a new word in the language of the heavens. One day, perhaps, the scribes of some future scripture will write, Gaza, the land where the forsaken walked, where angels wept, and where even storms remembered to grieve. We will not stop, we will not rest until Palestine is free.
Our next speaker is a journalist and broadcaster who has documented the complicity of our politicians in Israel's genocide in Gaza. Please give a very warm welcome to Peter Oborne.
Well, thank you so much, and it is a tremendous honor to be here. Week after week, month after month, the people here have marched for peace, for decency, for fairness, for justice, and for international law. You are in the tradition, we are in the tradition of Tom Paine, the Chartists, the suffragettes, the Jarrow Marchers, but also the tradition of conservative figures. In the winter, the dire winter of 1941, when Nazism was in its height and most menacing and strongest, two world leaders met on a boat off Newfoundland. One of them was Roosevelt, the President of the United States. Another was British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Between them they signed the Atlantic Charter. Now the Atlantic Charter went on to provide the basis of international law, the United Nations, the International Court of Justice, more recently the International Criminal Court. It was a vision of humanity, of universal human rights, of a world where we could all be free and have equal opportunities. It was a magnificent vision, and it was led by this country, Britain. Now, who now represents the ideas of Winston Churchill here in Britain today? I have been reading the newspapers. Some of them I used to work for. I've been reading that you are hate marchers. I've been reading that you are enemies of civilization. I've been reading even that you are woke. But I have some. What you are is you are the representative of everything that is best about Britain. everything which is greatest about our country. We are a country which stands up for justice and freedom when we are at our best. The people who are attacking you, us, the hard-right newspapers, the politicians just a few hundred yards away, who accuse you of being hate marchers, they are the people. They don't like free speech. They don't like justice. They live in a world of twisted values. You threaten them. We threaten them. And that is why it is an enormous honor and privilege to stand with you today. I just want to say one other thing. As a journalist, I could not stand here today and not honor the journalists who, the greatest among us reporters, who report from Gaza. More than 200 of them have given their lives to tell the truth, to show the world. And the way that my profession in Britain, their well-paid jobs and comfortable television studios, have the audacity to attack these people and not to honor them, not to realize that they're the greatest among us. And so perhaps I want just to say that I feel, and we feel, a great pride to be their colleagues. Thank you.
Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! And from the sea to the river! From the sea to the river! From the sea to the river! Our next speaker is an actor who appeared in the recent film Palestine 36, which documented Britain's colonialism in Palestine. Please give the very warmest welcome to Billy Howell.
I told a Palestinian friend of mine from Bethlehem that I was speaking here today, and I asked him what I should say. He said, "One thought that keeps coming back to me is the weight of November in our lives as Palestinians across the decades. November 1917, the British Foreign Secretary issued the Balfour Declaration, the promise of an imperial power to give the land that belonged to one people to another people. November 1947, 33 members of the UN voted to partition our land. And now, this November, 2025, the UN Security Council passes a resolution that hands over the governance of Gaza to a foreign power, that allows Israel to continue its military occupation of our land. This Western habit of deciding what is best for Palestinians without consulting with them and just further damaging their lives year in, year out has been a consistent behavior from Western governments for over 100 years. The British government today supports Trump's plan, even though it knows that it violates international law. It continues to arm Israel, trade with Israel, and treat it as a democracy, despite years of apartheid and now genocide. And now this is me speaking. I was fortunate to play a part in the film Palestine 36 about British rule over Palestine in the 20s and 30s, a shameful part of our imperial history. The film documents how Britain brutally crushed the Palestinian national movement during the uprising of 1936. The character I play is a British civil servant who comes to realise his complicity in what is happening. In real life, my character resigned. He returned to Britain and he joined the Communist Party. Right now, at this moment, each of us has a responsibility to do everything in our power to end complicity of our government, public bodies, companies and corporations. For me as an actor, that means standing up and speaking out as I am today. But it means more than that. It means working with other artists to challenge the complicity of our arts and cultural institutions, like the 400 theatre workers, myself included, who have demanded that the Almeida Theatre ends its partnership with Bloomberg Philanthropies over their links to war crimes and human rights violations. For you, it might be something different. Anne-Marie Jasser, the director of Palestine 36, had this to say: "The international community failed us, but there are people who have not failed us. They're out here today. We need their voices to break through all the barriers that are trying to isolate us as Palestinians. There is a hand that is smashing through a wall and pulling at us, and we are trying to grab that hand. In this country and across the political establishment, instead of acknowledging our historic responsibilities and crimes, we continue to buy into the pretense of moral superiority. Well, I say no more. It has to end. Even though it's 100 years late, it has to end now."
From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Our next speaker is here representing the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, one of the co-organisers of today's protest. Please give a very warm welcome to Sophie Bolt.
Thanks very much. It's so wonderful to see so many of you here today. As always, campaigning and protesting, we won't give up. Now across the world, we are marching in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Across the world, hundreds of thousands are marching for the Palestinian people. And it is such an honour that we are marching with countries like South Africa, a country whose leadership has done so much for the Palestinian people, but also to politically isolate Israel and expose all of its war crimes. Now we know that the ceasefire agreement, yes, it has lessened the slaughter of the Palestinian people. And yes, it has reduced the risk of starvation. But the killings are still continuing. And Israel is still using the threat of starvation as a weapon of war. It's letting in less than half of the food and aid that is needed. And as we approach winter, people are faced with the risk of freezing to death. So it's absolutely critical that aid and shelter is massively upscaled now to keep the Palestinians alive. Now we are all horrified, aren't we, by Trump's so-called vision for peace. It effectively hands Gaza over to the US without any say for the Palestinian people. And it focuses on demilitarizing Gaza. But what about demilitarizing Israel? What about Israel getting rid of the F-35A fighter jets that have massacred people in so-called safe zones? What about Israel's use of chemical weapons? It needs to be getting rid of those, doesn't it? Like the use of white phosphorus that's been used in Lebanon. And the chemical weapons are being used in Gaza. And good on Ireland for calling And of course, what about disarming Israel's nuclear weapons? The 90 to 400 nuclear weapons that that country possesses. The only nuclear-armed state in the Middle East. So it's the nuclear-armed genocidal state that needs demilitarizing, isn't it? So we must keep up the pressure, as we are doing. We know this struggle for peace and justice for Palestine, it shapes our entire future. We have the overwhelming majority of humanity on our side. We must not forget that. And we will. We must secure the world we all so desperately need. Solidarity.
Free, free! Free, free! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! From the river to the sea! And from the sea to the river! From the sea to the river! From the sea to the river! Our final speaker of today's demonstration is the director of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, one of the co-organisers of today's demonstration. Please give the warmest welcome to Ben Jamal!
Thank you. And I want to thank all of you for coming out once again at a moment when the political establishment is telling you that there is a ceasefire, that there is a peace plan, that it is time for you to go home. And on a day when the weather forecasters told you it would be torrential in London today, you came out 100,000 strong. So let me begin as the director of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign and as a Palestinian by saying thank you. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your resolution. And thank you for your solidarity. And we know that today marks the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. You may know that this day was initiated by the United Nations in 1977 because the General Assembly wanted to mark their deep concern that the Palestinian people still did not have the fulfillment of their rights of self-determination and return, and their deep concern at Israel's ongoing brutal occupation. But now this day has come to symbolize the ongoing complicity of international governments. When this day was initiated, there were 12,000 illegal Israeli settlers in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Today, is the inevitable consequence of the international community granting Israel decades of impunity for crimes of colonization, ethnic cleansing, occupation and apartheid. And now, as we gather here, having failed for 2 years to prevent genocide because of the US veto, now finally the Security Council acts.
It acts, however, not to enforce international law, but to violate it, not to respect the core purposes of the United Nations, but to abrogate them. It passes a resolution that hands control of Gaza over to the United States, a resolution that allows Israel's participation in decision-making over Gaza's future, but denies that right to the Palestinian people. So the Security Council, through this resolution, becomes again an instrument for continued illegal occupation and a violator of international law. The International Court of Justice, the world's highest court, in July 2024, called for the illegal occupation of Gaza, the West Bank and East Jerusalem to end immediately, 16 months ago. This resolution empowers states to continue to support that occupation in Gaza and says nothing about the rest of occupied Palestine. It contains no mention of genocide, despite the fact that Israel remains on trial at the ICJ for that crime, and its leader remains indicted by the International Criminal Court. It says nothing about the ongoing ethnic cleansing of the West Bank, the escalation of settler violence, nothing about the more than 9,000 Palestinians illegitimately detained, subject to the most brutal forms of torture, including rape. And of course, the resolution mandates an armed force to come to Gaza to report directly to Donald Trump, bypassing every other international body, a force that will act in collaboration with Israel to demilitarize Gaza, meaning disarming the Palestinian resistance, but not the Israeli forces. And this peace plan asks us to accept that we have a real ceasefire in Gaza, but what we have is a ceasefire that allows Israel to kill over 300 Palestinians since it was agreed and destroy over 1,500 Palestinian homes in Gaza. Last week, Israel killed 33 Palestinians in a single night, leading to the latest images of infant bodies, infants, once more being pulled from the rubble and held in their parents' hands like limp ragdolls. Scenes that ought to be of unimaginable horror, but which have become normalized after 2 years of genocide, and now scenes which all of us are asked to accept as consistent with an ongoing functioning ceasefire. All of this whilst Israel allows in less than half of the food and supplies needed urgently as winter arrives in Gaza and 2 million Palestinians live with no proper shelter. So friends, we are now in the second phase of this genocide. A phase built on the foundations of this grotesque peace plan, this grotesque resolution that seeks to renormalize Israel, seeks to turn the conversation away from genocide and accountability for genocide, away from apartheid and occupation and a need to end it. So right now, in this moment, we need to reassert the fundamental truth that there cannot be, there will not be any pathway to peace that is not rooted in respect for justice, rights, and the real application of international law. So friends, we are not going anywhere. This is the moment for us to redouble our focus on our core task as a solidarity movement to support the ongoing Palestinian resistance to Israel's plan for erasure, and to continue to build the mass movement, the mass global movement that will place pressure on Israel by answering the Palestinian call for boycott, for divestment and for sanctions. And friends, as you head home today, let me ask you to counter any sense of despair and fatigue we all feel at the failure of our government and the international community by turning to look at each other and recognise the power of our collective voice. Israel did not want to end its full-scale military assault on Gaza. It was forced to do so because of its increasing isolation. Donald Trump, for once, told the truth when he said to Netanyahu, "You cannot fight the whole world." He was talking about the increasing threat of boycott, divestment and sanctions against Israel. Understand and be inspired by the fact that we are winning here in the UK important boycott and divestment victories. 2 weeks ago, Nottingham Council became the 27th council to support divestment when it voted unanimously to make the city of Nottingham an apartheid-free zone. The Co-op, as you know, has removed all Israeli goods from its shelf, and over 6,000 customers have now closed their account with Barclays Bank. So these are the campaigns we will continue to drive forward. We know that the struggle is long, but it is a struggle, as Sophie just reminded us, not just for the rights of the Palestinian people, but a struggle for the world we want for ourselves and our children. We know that that better world of which we all dream and aspire to cannot come into being until the Palestinian people achieve justice, that none of us can or will be free until the Palestinian people are free. We do not stop until that day of liberation arrives from the river to the sea. 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 Thank you.
London, thank you so much again for joining us. 100,000 strong today. Please take care as you leave, get home safely. I've got a couple of quick announcements. We'll demonstrate again in the new year, so please keep an eye out on PSC's social media for more details. And please keep your eye out for more details of divestment campaigns and days of action to come before the end of the year. Please remember to go to togethertopalestine.org and download the single Lullaby that you heard earlier today. And this is a little bit in the future, but please keep in the back of your minds that on February the 23rd, Benjamal and Chris Ninan will be going on trial, and there'll be a protest for when they do go on trial. Thank you. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free!
everything here. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I moved. Yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
We call on the trade unions that they should support the hunger strikers. Last night's issue of the working class for their struggles, and hunger strikers are making a big sacrifice, and the trade union movement must put in role in supporting hunger strikers. We call a general strike. The strikes are general strikes against the same system. The hunger strikers are making a big sacrifice. Thanks for so every support for
Hunger strikers make us proud. Hunger strikers make us proud. Hunger strikers make us proud.
Say it clear, say it now.
Hunger strikers make us proud.
Say it clear, say it now.
Hunger strikers make us proud.
Say it clear, say it now.
Hunger strikers make us proud.
Say it clear, say it now.
Hunger strikers make us proud.
Say it clear, say it now.
Hunger strikers make us proud.
Free Palestine!
Rasa tas gebang. No. It's all good. Thank you. No. It's a watermelon. Nice. Nice one.
والله انا معي يمكن شوي